I know all of you remember Quadri Alabi. You may not remember his name actually, but if I show you this picture, now you remember him. The Obi boy that stood in front of Obi's convoy, flagging his hands all wide, welcoming Obi to the community in Lagos during the campaign last election. That boy, Quadri Alabi, is his name. He became a hero of the day, a hero of the campaign, and that picture was the poster picture of Obi campaign. And I tell you, that picture hurt a lot of people. That picture hurt the opposition. That picture portrayed a lot of things, That picture, did a lot of damage to the opposition because it looked as if the people was behind Obi during the election. It gave a picture, a victory look. It gave a victory, appearance of victory, a semblance of victory that Obi is, a hero of sort. And after that happened, it was found out that the boy has been passing through a lot of challenges, a lot of trials and tribulations for people who are not really happy with him becoming the poster of such, and they felt, to make life unbearable for him. In fact, let me just fast forward right now. The boy has been languishing in prison for a while. He had been languishing in prison for a while. For a case he had nothing to do with. For a case he had nothing. Just part of the setup. And the boy found himself in prison. No protection, no lawyer, nothing. No prosecution. He was just there. Languishing until the obedience movement led by Yunusa himself, I think Yunusa Tanko, heard about it and definitely found out that this boy that made the headlines that day is in prison. And they had to roll the drums and the tanks and find out a way to get him out. Using, of course, renowned lawyer Inebehe Effiong, who spearheaded the lawyer team that went to look at the boy's situation and found out different ways, finally getting him released from the prison. I tell you, it is not easy releasing someone from prison because prison is not a cell. It is the judiciary that is holding you. And it takes a court order to release anybody in prison. So just know that that was not an easy feat at all. Kudos to you, the Obedient family. Kudos to Yunusa Tanko. Kudos to Peter Obi, of course, working in the background. And kudos to Inebehe Effiong, of course, always trying to stand on the side of humanity. Doesn't matter who is offended. That boy has been released right now. And of course, people can now rest. It's a pity that in this country, we still find ways to victimize people because of their political beliefs. In the last election, people were actually, criticized. People were threatened. Even up to election day, the evidences are there. People were beaten, sent back home from the polling units. People were tortured because of their political leanings. And this is not good for democracy at all. And even after elections, some people are still suffering from their political beliefs. It doesn't matter where you are believing from. It could be you are an Obi supporter. It could be you are a Tinubu supporter. I know some Tinubu supporters who have been suffering because they supported Tinubu, which is not also good because this is their political beliefs and that is a fact. Let it be, let it be. It doesn't matter what you think. I don't think an APC supporter should suffer for his, for his beliefs physically. Let him be that. That thing he voted for, he is not seeing the result. Like now we are all suffering in the country. Yeah, that's the way, for them to suffer for what they have made, the choices they have made, perhaps they will change it. But to physically, economically attack them, intentionally, to cause a bodily harm, or to lock somebody in prison, or to, set up somebody because of his political leanings, or threat of violence, should not be acceptable in a democracy. Please, let's be guided. On this case, this boy made it very clear that what he's suffering from is because ever since that day he supported Peter Obi and came out to the convoy. Perhaps he just was happy seeing that kind of convoy and he came out just to express himself like a street boy. And Since that day, he has been suffering and suffering and suffering because some people felt that he made money, he has made a lot of money from that, or he's supporting Peter Obi or giving Peter Obi that kind of a face, and they failed to make life unbearable for him, which I felt was not necessary. It falls below the spirit of fair play. So thank God the boy is out, and now they're trying to raise money for the boy to, go back to school, and for his mother to also set up in business. Of course, to also relocate them from that place they are living to somewhere else, just to give them a little succor, to help their life back to where it's supposed to be, to let them pick up a little bit economically, so they will not be vulnerable. Because of course, as you are aware, it is even lack of money that caused them to be in the situation they are in right now. That is where we are in. And we thank you, Nigerians, for the prayers, Nigerians for the support. One thing I know about Nigerians is that they support each other, they love each other, and they suffer everything that is sufferable together. It's just the politicians who try to use tribalism, ethnicity, money, and media to divide them for their own personal good. They don't love anybody. All they love is to remain in that position. So let us be wise like a serpent. Let us be very vigilant like a fox to see all these gimmicks and try to maneuver it. Perhaps one day we'll get it right in this country, and everybody will live to see one day the Nigeria of our dreams. Please like, subscribe, and share. I have been your host, Chinedu, signing out on your favorite show, Direct on the Spot. Till I see you again in the next video. Peace.